Welcome, confidential listeners, to another entry from our private archives. This is a space for the unspoken, for the deep, painful secrets that mothers carry to their graves. Tonight's story was sent to me by a woman named Eleanor, a woman who thought she was protecting her son, but ended up signing his death warrant. It is a diary of prejudice, a stolen month's salary, and a high-speed tragedy on a California highway, titled House of Silence. So, close the door, turn down the lights, and listen closely, because the audience for this truth is only you. I admit it. I was against that romance from the very beginning. In fact, everything I could do to separate those two, I did. I played games, often without thinking of the consequences. But who can blame me? Raise your hand. Which mother doesn't want the best for her child? I lived in a respectable house in East Sacramento, a life built on my reputation as a teacher. My son, Julian, was always a handsome boy. He drew everyone's attention. He was just like his father, stubborn. When he put something in his head, not even God could change it. He could have had any woman, but to my dismay, he fell for Daisy, a girl I hired to clean our home. She was a beautiful girl, I admit, but she was unkempt. Her hair always looked like she hadn't touched a comb, just tucked under that maid's cap. The first time I noticed my son's interest was in the living room. She was dusting the furniture, and he was sitting there with a law book. But his eyes weren't on the law. They followed Daisy wherever she went. I was terrified. I've heard the stories on the radio. Girls who get involved with the employer's son and end up pregnant, trapping the boy forever. I didn't want that for Julian. I even thought about firing her right then, but I let it go. Oh, if only regret could kill, I wouldn't be this bitter woman today. He's going to be a successful lawyer. He has a brilliant life ahead. He can't throw it all away for a girl who can barely put a sentence together. I have to watch them. One Saturday around 2 a.m., I was grading papers in my room when I heard a noise. A door opening in the hallway that led straight to the maid's quarters. I opened my door just an inch and saw Julian sneaking back from her room. The next morning, I confronted her. She turned pale, looking at me with terrified eyes. "Oh, Mrs. Eleanor, it was nothing. He just wanted to know if his blue sneakers were dry yet." Sneakers at 2 in the morning? She must have thought I was an idiot. I realized then that something was already happening, and they were making a fool out of me in my own house. I wasn't satisfied with Daisy's pathetic excuse about the sneakers, so I went straight to Julian to check his version. He didn't stumble like she did. He answered me with a straight face, but it was a completely different lie. "I just went to see if she could press a shirt for me, Mom. I was thinking of going out, but I changed my mind." One told me about sneakers, the other about a shirt. They both thought I was a fool. The air in our Sacramento home, usually filled with the scent of old books and floor wax, now felt thick with the smell of betrayal. I looked him in the eye, my blood boiling. "And you have the nerve to ask why I'm questioning you? Listen to me, Julian. I'm having a very serious talk with that girl today. I won't have this kind of filth under my roof. Do you hear me?" He tried to act innocent, asking what filth I was talking about, but I didn't even answer. I was so shaken I walked straight into the kitchen the next morning, ready to end it. I found her by the stove, the morning sun through the blinds making her look more like an interloper than ever. "Daisy, stop what you're doing right now and go to your room. Pack your things. I don't need your services here anymore." I turned my back, thinking it was over, but I ran right into Julian standing in the kitchen doorway. He was staring at me with a look I'd never seen before, serious, defiant. Let Z stay, Mom, please." The way he used that nickname, Z, it made my skin crawl. The intimacy in that single letter was like a physical blow. "Her name is Daisy, Julian, and she is leaving today. I've already decided. I'll put an ad in the Sacramento Bee this afternoon. This ends now." Julian didn't flinch. He told me she had nowhere to go, that her parents were back in the Central Valley, in the interior. I told him then she should go back there because she wasn't staying here. Daisy was already dissolving into tears by the sink, and that's when Julian did the unthinkable. He walked over and pulled her into his arms right in front of me. "Calm down, honey, calm down. She's not sending you away. I won't let her. We'll talk and it'll be okay." I stood there frozen. He didn't just call her honey, he challenged my authority in my own kitchen. I was speechless. I didn't know what surprised me more, seeing my son openly defy me, or the way he held that girl as if she were the most precious thing in the world. "Love? Julian, have you lost your mind? This is absurd!" My son had never looked at me with such a challenging gaze. It sent a chill down my spine. "That's exactly what you heard, Mom. I love Z and she loves me, and you're not sending her away, because if she goes, I'm going with her. Right now." It was a Sunday I will never forget. To hear those words coming from my own son's mouth and realize I couldn't do a thing to change his mind, it wasn't easy. I watched them from the doorway, feeling like a stranger in the house I had managed for decades. Later that day, when we were finally alone, I tried one last time to make him understand. "Julian, look at her. She's not the woman for you. She can barely put a sentence together. She says ain't and reckon. She has no grace. You're becoming a lawyer, Julian. Think of your future, your friends. You'll be embarrassed to have her by your side." Maybe it sounds like prejudice to you, but as a mother, I simply couldn't imagine my son in a serious romance with my maid. I wanted the best for him, and in my mind, there was nothing worse than her. But he wouldn't listen. He stood his ground, saying he was in love and would rather leave home than be without her. He even mentioned marriage. The word felt like a curse in our quiet living room. I couldn't lose my son. Since his father died, he was all I had. So, against every fiber of my being, I agreed to let her stay. For now. I agreed, but I didn't accept it. I spent every waking hour trying to tear them apart from the inside. God is my witness to how many traps I set, how many lies I whispered to make Julian see her flaws. I pointed out her messy hair, her unkempt nails, the way her cheap clothes looked next to our furniture. I highlighted every grammatical error she made, hoping he would eventually cringe at the sound of her voice. But nothing worked. Their attraction only seemed to grow stronger under my roof, and my motherly protection was slowly turning into a dark, suffocating hatred. I wasn't satisfied with Daisy's pathetic excuse about the sneakers, so I went straight to Julian to check his version. He didn't stumble like she did. He answered me with a straight face, but it was a completely different lie. Looking back now, I believe I was possessed by something dark. I went too far. In a moment of absolute desperation, seeing that none of my whispers or insults were working, I came up with a final, wicked plan. I waited until the house was quiet, and I took my entire monthly salary, my hard-earned teacher's pay, and I hid it. I didn't put it in a safe or a drawer. I walked into Daisy's small, sparse room and tucked the envelope deep inside her dresser under her few humble belongings. The next morning, I put on the performance of a lifetime. I made a scene that would have put a Hollywood actress to shame. I screamed, I cried, I claimed my money had been stolen right from my purse. It's gone! All of it! Julian, there has been a thief in this house. I want to know who was in my room. I knew exactly where this search would lead. I led them straight to the maid's quarters, my heart racing with a sick kind of triumph. Julian, look what I found in her drawer. Is this the girl you wanted to marry? A common thief who steals from the woman who feeds her? Daisy fell to her knees, sobbing, pleading her innocence. I didn't do it, Mrs. Eleanor. I swear on my life I've never touched a penny that wasn't mine. But I didn't back down. I held that envelope of cash like a smoking gun. I forced her to look at the evidence until her spirit broke right there on the cold linoleum floor. I finally achieved what I wanted. She couldn't stay a moment longer after an accusation like that. She grabbed her coat, not even stopping to pack her bags, and ran out the front door into the Sacramento heat, vowing never to return. I thought I had won. I thought that by seeing the stolen money with his own eyes, Julian would finally wake up and see Daisy for what I wanted her to be. But I miscalculated. I underestimated the power of the love I was trying to destroy. Julian didn't look at Daisy with disgust. He looked at me with a terrifying clarity. You did this, didn't you, Mom? You planted that money. You've been trying to get rid of her since day one, and you finally found a way to be a monster. He didn't wait for my denial. He didn't even listen to my excuses. Before I could say a word, he turned his back on me and ran out the door, chasing after her in the middle of the afternoon heat. Julian, come back! Where are you going? She's a thief, Julian. Don't be a fool. The sound of his car tires screeching on the pavement of our quiet street felt like a knife twisting in my chest. He had chosen her, even with the crime, even with the shame. I spent the next hour pacing the house, waiting for him to cool down and come back home. But the phone didn't ring. The driveway remained empty. I realized then that he wasn't just going to find her. He was going to save her from the lie I had created. My mind started to wander to the roads. Daisy had said she was going back to her parents in the Central Valley. To get there from Sacramento, you have to take the Highway 99, a dangerous, narrow artery filled with heavy trucks and high-speed traffic. I sat by the window as the sun began to set, a heavy knot of dread forming in my stomach. I had prayed for them to be apart, but now I was praying for them to be together, safely, anywhere but on that road. I kept seeing Julian's face, that defiant, hurt look, and the way he drove off as if he were racing against time itself. Little did I know, he was. The hours passed like a slow poison. I stayed by the phone, my heart jumping at every sound from the street. I wanted to hear his key in the lock, to hear him yell at me, anything but that suffocating silence. But when the knock finally came, it wasn't Julian. It was an officer from the highway patrol. His hat was in his hand and his face held that practiced, heavy pity that tells you your world has already ended. He told me there had been a head-on collision on Highway 99 near Elk Grove. A car had been speeding, trying to catch up to a passenger bus when it hit a semi-truck. No, not my Julian. Please, not my boy. The officer didn't have to say it. Julian had caught her. He had picked Daisy up and they were on their way to her parents' farm to ask for her hand in marriage. They were planning a future I tried to steal, and now they were gone together. I paid the ultimate price for my stupidity, my jealousy, my pride, my obsession with class. It all led to that blood-stained asphalt. I realized too late that it didn't matter how she combed her hair or how she spoke. What mattered was that she loved my son, and he loved her with a purity I was too blind to see. I would give anything to go back, to bless their union, to hug that girl and call her my daughter. But I am left with nothing but an empty house and the crushing weight of my own malice. Today, I walk the halls of this house like a ghost, haunted by the memory of a love that was too strong for my hate and a tragedy that will never, ever end. Julian, Daisy, if you can hear me from wherever you are, please forgive this foolish, broken mother. I thought I was protecting him, but I was the one who drove them to their graves. Today, I walk the halls of this house like a ghost, haunted by the memory of a love that was too strong for my hate and a tragedy that will never, ever end. The letters in our archive often speak of loss, but few carry the suffocating weight of a mother's shadow. Eleanor didn't just lose a son that day on Highway 99. She lost the right to the very legacy she was trying to protect. She was a teacher who failed the most important lesson of all, that you cannot own the heart of another, no matter how much you claim to love them. Now, Julian and Daisy are eternal, frozen in a moment of defiant love on a California highway, while Eleanor remains in a house of silence, a prisoner of her own prejudice. It is a tragedy written in Sacramento's dust, a reminder that when we try to play God with the lives of those we love, we often end up acting like the devil. Confidential listeners, the question remains, is the bond of a mother so sacred that it excuses the destruction of a son's happiness? Or was Eleanor's protection simply a mask for a soul that couldn't bear to share the spotlight? Tell me in the comments, did Eleanor get the justice she deserved, or is her living nightmare a punishment too cruel for any mother? If this tragedy from our archives opened your eyes, hit the like button and subscribe. Keep your secrets close, but your heart open. Good night, and pray you never have to choose between your pride and your child.